Hey, statisticians. Okay, so as we continue talking about a two proportion z-test, I want you to go to page 7 of your notes and go ahead and read over number 24. So this entire scenario is basically asking, does acupuncture help? So is the test rate significantly higher for women who receive acupuncture? They told us they were nice enough to perform the test here, and they found that your P sub 1 is your women that receive the acupuncture, and your P sub 2 is the women who didn't receive the acupuncture. Okay? And if you like how they wrote that, we can do the same in class. Okay, so the first question is name the appropriate test. And trying to find it, there it goes. Name the appropriate test, text, and check the conditions and assumptions. So this is a two proportion z-test for the difference of two proportions. As we look at our SIN, yes, we have two groups, the acupuncture group and the control group that was randomly allocated in the experiment. As we look at the independence, the two groups are independent of each other because either they received it or they didn't. Okay, here as we look at their normality, our LCC, so the number of successes and failures for both groups are greater than 10. And here are the numbers that are associated with that. Therefore, it's approximately normal. And we can proceed with, well, they didn't ask us, I'm going into mechanical mode here because they didn't ask me to do a test. All they did was ask me to confirm this, which I did. Next, part B is asking us right here, we've got a p-value of 0.0152 and they're asking us to interpret it. So as I slide here, remember what it's saying here is if the HO is true. Okay, and that is if there is no difference between the pregnancy rate of women who received acupuncture versus they didn't. So if the HO is true, there is a 0.0152 probability or chance of getting a difference in the pregnancy rate of, and remember this is based on our p-value. Well, I take that back. This value right here comes from my p-hat on the previous page. So as I was saying, that 16.25% is the difference of these two. So let's make a note of it right there. 0.25 minus 0.2625, which gives you the 0.1625. That is the difference. So as I turn back to the other page, okay, so that's your p-value right here. Probability of getting a difference in the pregnancy rate. And remember, here is the difference of your p-hats, or larger by chance. So let me read this all together. Okay, if the HO is true that there is no difference in the pregnancy rate of women who received acupuncture or not, there is a 0.0152 probability of getting a difference in the pregnancy rate of 16.25% or larger by chance. There is your interpretation. Next, I'm going to go to part C, which asks me with an alpha level of 0.05. As I scan right here, what conclusion is the researcher going to determine? Well, here with the p-value of a p-value of 0.0152, I was dyslexic for a moment, and with the alpha level of 0.05, we're going to reject DHO, which means that we have convincing evidence that the pregnancy rate in the, is higher, because we rejected DHO, we supported or failed to reject DHA, higher with women who received acupuncture than the control group. So stating it again, because we reject DHO and here we failed to reject DHA, we have convincing evidence that the pregnancy rate is higher with the women who receive acupuncture versus the control group. And then the last question here is, the women in the study knew whether or not they received the acupuncture. Why is that important? Whether or not they knew. Okay, the knowledge may affect their behavior, and it also may affect their expectations, because it's one of those things, your mind is a powerful tool. It's mind over matter. When a person's really ill, if they have a strong will, they can survive. So if they have a strong will, they could think that they're going to do, it's going to happen because that's what they're expecting, okay? And that's subconsciously. So if that's the case, we really don't know if it was the acupuncture that used it or that actually helped them with the success of becoming pregnant or not. So there's our problem number 24. Go ahead and do number 23, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening. Bye-bye, statisticians. Woo-woo.